Good morning, grade 4. Today we're going to begin our second video lesson about tricky rhythms. Tricky rhythms from our new song, The Ghoulie Song. It uses quite a few different tricky rhythms, especially in the first line. So today we're going to focus only on the rhythms in line number 1. Today you are going to need a piece of paper and a pencil. Once you have gotten those materials, please copy down what I have drawn on my whiteboard. Great! You should have a treble clef, 5 lines of the staff, and a bar line at the very end. Next, after you have drawn that, I want you to add another bar line right in the middle. Just like that. Great. Next, we're going to add one part of our key signature. Our song is in the key of G, and we're going to add 1 sharp to the top line. I'll show you how. This tells us that every F in our song is going to be an F sharp rather than an F natural. So remember that F sharp fingering? It's a little bit different, but we'll review that later when we go over the notes for the song, The Ghoulie Song. So I'm going to copy down the very first rhythm into the first measure. First, we have an 8th note. Voila! Next, we're going to add 2 more 8th notes connected by a line. We have our first measure written down. Now we're going to add in the notes for our second measure. There you go. There's the notes for our second measure. Sorry, at the end of my measure, I had to scrunch things down a little bit in order to make all of the beats fit. Our song today is in 4/4 time, which means that we'll have 4 beats per measure, and every quarter note will get 1 beat. Now, I say that, but look at that first measure. I only have 3 8th notes there. This measure in the Ghoulie Song is called a pickup measure, which means that there's going to be a few notes there that seem out of place, but they're kind of like the ramp that jumps us into the song. So if you listen to my recording of the video very carefully, you can actually hear those pickup notes when I play them. So without further ado, let's get down to our note names first. I'm going to give you some time on your own right now to go ahead and pause the video and fill in the note names as best that you can remember. There's only 3 that you have to worry about, and one of them I already told you about at the beginning of the video. So please go ahead and fill those in right now. After you are done filling them in, I will show you the answers. There's all our notes. E, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, G, rest, F sharp, E. Now that's just me saying the note names in order. I didn't say them in the correct rhythm, but we're going to get to that right now. Here's my first example I'd like to do with you. Because I have an 8th note at the very beginning that's all alone, it is going to start with a plus sign underneath it. Remember, the plus signs also mean the word and. So I'm going to go ahead and write a plus sign underneath that. Great. Next, I'm going to fill in the next 2 beats. Can you already guess what they might be? If you have an idea of what they might be, go ahead and fill them in now. Remember, if you have a pencil, you can always erase any mistakes you make. Whoa, 4? Why is there a 4 there? Do any of you guys know why? That's right, it's because it's at the end of the measure. It's the very last beat in the measure. Even though it's a pickup measure, it still has a 4. So that first measure is going to be counted like this. And 4 and. Or if you say the letters, E, E, F sharp. So that's going to be our first 3 notes. Go ahead, on your own, see if you can remember how to fill in the next measure. There you go. There's our very last measure. You'll notice that I put an and under the 2 and the and under the 3. That shows that that note above it gets to have both of those inside of it, like a quarter note, which has 2 8th notes in it, and a quarter rest, which also has 2 8th notes in it. But the only difference between a quarter note and a quarter rest is that we're not actually going to make any sound during the rest. We're going to be silent. So here's me saying here's me saying measure number 2. I would like you to repeat after me. 1 and 2, 4 and. Your turn, go. Nice job. Now I'm going to snap the beat with my loud snapping fingers, and while I do that, I want you to say the rhythm right after me. And 4 and 1 and 2, 4 and. Your turn, ready. Nice job. I could tell that you got that down right away. Now this is our first measure, our first 2 measures. So if you need any other help on this, feel free to go ahead and listen to the recording of me playing it, and you can hear what it actually sounds like. Start with a staff with a line at the end. Add a treble clef, add our F sharp, and draw a line right down the middle. Okay, that's all we need to do to get started. Now I'm going to write in measure number 3. This is our first of our tricky measure numbers. There we go. Now there's a lot going on in this measure, so we're going to start one at a time. First off, let me say it for you. 1 and 4 and. Say it, go. Good job. I know that it's tricky, but I'm sure you'll be able to do it. Right now, go ahead and write in the note names above the staff of those notes on the measure. There you go. G, B, A, B. Very easy notes. Notes we all know. Should be very easy to play, but what's tricky is the rhythm. So, first things first, we start this measure off with that's right, an eighth rest. We're going to go ahead and write down our first thing underneath that eighth rest. Since it's the very beginning of the measure, we're going to write the number 1 underneath it. What follows the number 1? That's right, a plus sign. However, eighth notes only either are a number or a plus sign, not both, so we're going to start our next note with a plus sign. And we know since it's a dotted quarter note, it's going to actually have 3 eighth notes in it, which means we're going to write 3 symbols underneath. What follows the first and? That's right, the number 2. And then what follows the number 2? That's right, another and. So we're going to have 1 and for our first 2 beats. Now we have a quarter rest. Let me go ahead and copy in the rest of the measure. There you go. It seems a little tricky, but it's actually not too bad. We just have to remember that these first 2 notes are both in the first and second beats, and that these 3 things are all in beats 3 and 4, with a quarter rest being silent during beat 3. So one more time, let's go ahead and say it. I'll snap the beat, and I'll also say it first. After I say it, I want you to echo me. 1 and 4 and. Your turn, ready, go. Nice job. Now let's try it this time, but with the letter names. 1, 2, together, go. G, B, A, B. Great job. That is our second tricky rhythm, and it is a very tricky rhythm. So if you were able to get it right away, good job. If you still need more time to practice it, please take the time to do so. I'm going to go ahead and copy in the last measure, and then I'm going to leave it blank, and I want you to fill it in for yourself. Go ahead, pause the video, and then take all the time you need to write in the correct responses. Remember, put the letters above the notes and the rhythm numbers underneath the notes. Remember, in every single measure, we need to have a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure all of those things are present, and then you'll know you probably got the right answer. Go ahead, pause the video. There's the correct answer. If you got it right, congratulations. You should give yourself a clap on the back. If you got it wrong, that's okay. Feel free to practice some more later to make sure that you get everything right. Okay, let's say this rhythm. This should be an easy one. We've done lots of rhythms like this before. I'll say it first. You echo me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ready, set, your turn, go. Nice job. This time let's try with letter names. Me first, then you. C, 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 B, A. Ready, go. Nice job. I knew you'd get it. That's an easy one. All right, here we go. Let's try to combine both of our tricky measures together. Me first, then you. G, B, A, B, C, 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 B, A. 1, 2, good luck, go. Nice job, boys and girls. I hope you found this useful. I hope you were able to get some of these tricky rhythms. That's going to go ahead and conclude our tricky rhythms lesson today. If you need any more help, feel free to send me a question, and I would love to address it in the next lesson video. You do not have to upload anything today. You only need to practice using this video. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday.